Hey, welcome back everyone. Thanks so much for being here. So today we've got some pretty cool news topics and reveals to go over. I wanted to make sure you guys knew everything about it. So first up, the DualSense Edge, PlayStation's very own Pro controller. So earlier Sony released an amazing video, which feels like a developer diary on exactly what went into creating the DualSense Edge. And I don't know about you guys, but I never knew how much love and passion in detail goes into creating a Pro controller. But when you watch the video that Sony released earlier, it oozes out of the developers speaking. They talk about every intricate detail that they had to think about when creating the controller. In fact, they talk as if they had the controller in mind when the DualSense itself was first being created. So the developers speak of wanting to actually have back buttons on the original DualSense. So in other words, this Edge is just something that was already a concept in their minds, and now they're finally putting their thoughts and feelings to fruition here, which is incredible. Another thing I thought that was pretty cool was exactly how much the developers listened to gamers when it came to creating the DualSense Edge. So apparently they took exactly what gamers had in mind. For example, they said that gamers didn't want them to change the ergonomics of the DualSense at all. So they wanted to keep that same form factor that we've grown to love since the PS5 has been out, and just add on little small revisions or tweaks to create the Pro controller. And for me, that resonates a lot because I've grown to love the DualSense myself. I like the way it fits in the hand. I think it has some good heft to it. It feels like it's premium quality. I love the positions of the sticks with that old traditional PlayStation form factor. And I didn't want them to change the controller at all. If anything, I want them to add extra to it if they can, find a way to preserve the original design of the controller while adding little extras. I think that would be great. And apparently that's exactly what they did with the DualSense Edge. It's just actually fascinating to see developers speak about it as if it's really a love child for them, as if it's something that was really impactful for them to make, and something that inspired them and continues to inspire them. So I just wanted to bring you guys that information about the DualSense Edge. Incredible video that Sony released. Definitely check it out on PlayStation's page when you get a chance, and let me know what you think about it. So moving on, we're talking about God of War Ragnarok. So as we all know, Amazon is creating a TV series surrounding the critically acclaimed game, but now we finally get some information on exactly the direction that they're going to go. Apparently, Amazon says the God of War TV series will be incredibly true to the source material. That's amazing news to hear. I'm very glad they're not going to deviate too much from the actual essence of the story. But let's go on and see what they say here in an article in VGC. They say, it was announced last week that the company had officially greenlit a series based on the flagship Sony Interactive Entertainment franchise. The show will follow the events of 2018's God of War reboot, which centers on father and son protagonists Kratos and Atreus, and is one of PlayStation's biggest hits with some 23 million in sales. Furthermore, they say Amazon Studios head of television, Vermin Sanders, assured fans that they shouldn't expect the show to deviate far from the source material. He continues to say, we do incredibly well with adaptations, from Invincible to The Boys. I mean, we just covered so many of these things, right? And so we know that there's such a passionate fan base for God of War, he said. But the things that we're always looking for is whether there is some emotional core, if there's a real narrative story. And I think that's part of what makes God of War so special. So this is very reassuring to hear, I'm sure, to all of you guys and myself as well. God of War is a special one for PlayStation gamers. God of War is something that we don't want you to touch and tinker with too much. If you're a showrunner and your goal is to create a franchise or to create an adaptation of a video game franchise, Us as gamers, we would love you to have a deep connection yourself with the game and with the characters, because if so, we believe that you will understand why we don't want things to change too much. Now, of course, you have your own creative vision, and of course, you're very brilliant with what you do, and there are probably tweaks and changes you could make that could benefit the game. But overall, gamers don't want these Amazon showrunners to deviate too far from the original essence of the game. So this is very great news to hear that they're going to stay true to the source material. Personally, myself, if I'm being very honest, I did not want a TV adaptation of God of War. If anything, what I wanted was them to create a sort of movie of God of War, but in a CGI way, sort of similar to Avatar: The Way of Water. I personally didn't think Amazon showrunners needed to do a live action version of God of War. If anything, what we've seen recently in God of War Ragnarok is proof enough. It looks absolutely incredible. It looks like perfected CGI similar to Avatar. So if anything, I just wanted them to use voice actors and continue to use motion capture, but just use it in a long form movie or a television series if that's what you want to do. That's my opinion. I would prefer that route over the route of going with live action, but that's just me. These Amazon showrunners are very good at what they do, so it remains to be seen what will happen with this series. Hopefully it's great. Hey, I'll keep my fingers crossed, and I'll continue to follow the story and let you guys know. What do you think about that? Do you like this idea of a God of War TV series, or are you a little skeptical and on the fence like me? Let me know. Lastly, here we're talking about SIFU, the critically acclaimed beat 'em up that came out earlier in 2022 that was definitely much appreciated for PlayStation and PC gamers. It launched as a PlayStation console launch exclusive, and now apparently it's finally coming to Xbox and Steam, which is really great to hear. I'm really glad that Xbox gamers are going to be able to get a chance to play this game. It was very, very good, critically acclaimed. I think it's currently sitting at an 84 right now on Metacritic. So I can't wait for Xbox gamers who don't have a PlayStation to be able to get this game, check it out. It's well worth it. So this also came from an article in VGC where they say SIFU is coming to Xbox and Steam alongside a new Arenas mode, which sounds really awesome actually. Furthermore, they say SIFU will be released for Xbox consoles and made available on Steam in March 2023. Developer and publisher Slowclap has confirmed. Furthermore, they say the latest game from the independent studio behind Absolver, SIFU was originally released for the PS4 and PS5 and PC via the Epic Games Store in February, before making its way to Nintendo Switch in November. The third-person action game puts players in control of a young kung fu student in a revenge tale set in a fictional Chinese city. So I want to let you guys know this. I thought this was really cool. Again, SIFU was a great game. Anytime gamers get a chance to play something like this and to have a very high quality game on their hands, something to dig deep into, I think that's great. And especially for Xbox gamers right now, since 2022 has been very light when it comes to games for them, high quality games, I think this is really cool. So if you're an Xbox gamer and you didn't have a chance to play SIFU, definitely check this one out. It was very good. I think you guys will definitely enjoy it. So thanks so much for being here as always, guys. Let me know what you think about all these topics, and I'll catch you later.